Om Namo Narayanaaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are going to discuss about the meaning of Vishnu Sahasranama stanza 2. Buddhatma Paramatma Jamuktanam Paramagadihi Avyaya Purusha Sakshi Kshetrajñokshara Evaja. The 10th name, Buddhatma, one with an extremely pure essence, one who is not affected the least by the impurities of Maya. The self is beyond all vasanas and therefore he cannot be affected by any one of the manifestations of Maya, such as thought of intellect, emotions of the mind, or the perceptions of the body. Immaculate is ever the self, and so he is termed as the pure self, Buddhatma. The 11th name, Paramatma, the supreme meaning that which transcends all limitations and imperfections of matter. In short, the transcendental reality. The spirit is other than matter, and that in its presence the virtues of matter, borrowing their dynamism from him, play their parts rhythmically at all times. This has been the assertion found chorously repeated in all the Upanishads and in the entire Vedantic literature. Sri Shankara in Atma Bodha points out that the self is other than the three bodies and that he functions in the microcosm as a king in the nation. It was also said therein that matter borrows in its energy from the spirit and continues its activity as the world from the sun. Kathopanishads and the Bhagavad Gita guides us from the outer levels of our personality stage by stage into the innermost sanctum, and there the teachers declare is he the infinite, transcending all, regaining in his glory. In short, that which remains other than the cause and effect, Maya and matter, is the Paramatman. In Vishnu Purana, the Supreme is glorified as Mahavishnu, Paramatma. The 12th name is Muktanam Paramagadihi, he who is the final goal, Paramagadi, that is reached by all the liberated soul, Mukta. The limitations and bondages lived through by man are in fact the destiny of the matter vestures. Through delusion of non-understanding, we identify with them and come to suffer the consequent sense of impurification, imperfections. To liberate ourselves from the thraldom of matter is to realize the self. Hence, the truth is defined as the supreme goal of the emancipated. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, the stanza 6, we can see Na तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. This goal to be attained is called as Gadi. In the Sanskrit, the supreme goal, Parama Gadi, would necessarily be then that goal having reached which there is no return. Again in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, the stanza 6 is showing Yeyam va bismaran bhavam त्यजत्यन्दे कळेबरं तं तमेवैदि कुन्देया सदा तद्भावितः. There where having gone may never return. That sacred place is my seat. Even more explicitly, the same idea has been asserted by Sri Krishna when he says, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kundi, Arjuna, that state he will attain without fail. The process of changing one's nature, the crucial moment of death, is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is a point we should note very carefully. Therefore, the chanting of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. In the Bhagavad Gita, the chapter 15, the stanza 4 is saying here, Tadhapadam tad परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्धन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्ति प्रसुधा पुराणी. Let us see in the chapter 15, the fourth stanza, what saying? One must seek that place from which having gone one never returns, and there surrender to that supreme personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Again, he defines the final goal as that having reached no return again. The 13th name is Avyayaha. Vyaya means destruction. Destruction cannot be without change. Therefore, that which is without destruction is the changeless. Avyaya. The indestructible and therefore changeless can never have any modification. Parinama. For modification is but the death of a previous condition and the birth of a new condition. The eternal and the immutable Avyaya is the supreme Sat Chit Ananda, and every other thing and being come under the hammer or change. The medium in which all these changes are sustained is Brahman, the immutable. The Upanishads glorify him as Ajaro Amaro Avyaya, without old age, death, or change. The 14th name, Purusha, one who dwells in the fourth city, Puri state, it's Purusha. Herein, metaphorically, the rishis conceive our body as a fortress with 9 gateways. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, the 13th stanza, you can see Sarva karmani manasanyasyaste sukam vashi navajware pure dehi naiva gurvanna karayan. Here, clearly explaining, the steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, that the material body neither working nor causing work to be done. The term can also be dissolved in 2 more different ways, giving more and more suggestions to the nature of the self. The Purusha can mean that which was before all creatures. Pura asid idi Purusha, or it can be one who completes and fulfills the extents everywhere, meaning without whom existence is impossible. Purayadi idi Purusha. The Atman remains in the bodies of living creatures as their individuality, jiva, and in all the activities, physical, mental, and intellectual. Atman is not in fact involved, but he is therein only an observer of all that is happening. This will become clear in the coming discussions. The 15th name is Sakshi, witness. In everyday life, he is a witness without any mental reservation or personal interest, observed and watches what is happening in a given field of experience. Sakshat Drakstari Sakshi Syat. This is taken from Amarakosha. The knower is every bosom is the same Supreme Self. In chapter 13, Bhagavad Gita, the stanza 3, we can see Tatshetram yechayad drik chayadvigari yadaschayad sachayo yat prabhavascha tatsamasena me shrunu. We can see the meaning here. O children of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Though this Consciousness illumines everything. It is only a witness. Is it knows no change. The knower in every bosom is the same Supreme Self. Just as the sun illumines everything in the world, and yet the sun is not affected by the condition of the thing, it is illumining. So too Vishnu, the Supreme, illumines all without itself undergoing any change. According to Panini Shastra, the word Sakshi is derived from Sa plus Akshi, meaning direct perceiver. The 16th name, Kshetrajna, one who knows the body and all the experience from within the body, is the knower of the field. Kshetrajna, as Brahma Purana would put it, bodies are fields, and the Atman illumines them all without an effort, and therefore is called knower of the field, is Kshetrajna. The 17th name, Akshara, indestructible, things which are necessarily conditioned by time and space. The infinite is unconditioned, and so it is Akshara. Since it is indestructible, it cannot come under the methods of universal destruction arising from nature or through the willful action of man. It cannot be cleaved by instruments of destruction, nor can fire burn it, nor water quench it, nor air dry it. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2, in stanza 23, clearly it is mentioning, Nainam chintanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayantyapo na soshayati maruta. It is also indicated that the Supreme Brahman is the Akshara. Aksharam Brahma Paramam, in the chapter 8, the stanza 3rd of Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.